Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started.
Mason is fighting to keep the Western and Southern Tennis Tournament in the Tri-State. There are talks of the tournament moving to North Carolina. Mason City officials just proposed a $15 million incentive to fund an expansion. This event is so important to the area.
Absolutely. I've been, and it's a great time.
Yeah, let's hope they're able to keep it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Manna is now open for lunch. Previously, the Centerville restaurant only had dinner hours, but now you can get lunch reservations starting at 11 a.m.
Yeah, this is the same restaurant that's owned by Solar's owners, and it's supposed to be really, really good.
And just so you know, space is limited.
Oh, go check it out. And what's the buzz about at Grader's? Well, they just unveiled their new bonus flavor, Hot Honey Crunch. It's got a piece of honeycomb, sweet icing, a little heat for that extra kick. I don't know about my ice cream being spicy. I bet you're going to love it.
I think I like it.
Yeah, you love your spicy foods.
Yeah, a little sweet and spicy.
Maybe we'll have to get a taste test. I don't know.
Love that.
Right now, crews in Canada continuing to fight wildfires in Nova Scotia. So far, 8 million acres have burned, with giant plumes of smoke towering over the region.
Now those wildfires are causing problems for us here in the Miami Valley, so we're going to send things over to meteorologist Nick Baruziak with a look at conditions as you head out the door this morning.
Yeah, interesting, because we talked yesterday about how some of the smoke from the fire not only would provide a haze, which we saw all day, but actually get down to surface. And here we are first thing in the morning dealing with that haze getting down to surface. You can see visibility not 10 out of 10. It's actually 5 and 6 miles. And because this is getting so down to the surface, we are under an air quality alert through midnight. This does mean not only those that are more sensitive, but just about those that have a little bit more issues are going to see some problems when it comes to getting outside. That air isn't going to be perfect. Smoke haze today leading way to increasing clouds. Now, if you are on social media and do get a good picture of the haze outside, send it to your Dayton. While you're there, you can check out your forecast that'll be posted. You'll also be able to see the latest from yesterday's show and any fun moments from today's show. Now, as for traffic this morning, things are fairly quiet. We do have a fallen tree on North Kilmer Street at Lakeview Ave, as well as an incident at Taylorsville Road at Rip Rap, and of course construction on 835 and 35, as well as parts of 675.
A local family is having a fundraiser this evening to raise money for their son's treatment. 7-year-old Grayson Knapp is battling a rare genetic disorder. It's known as CLN3 Batten disease.
Now, it affects the nervous system, but there is hope for this young boy. Melina Brown joins us now in studio. Melina, Grayson's mom says the treatment may help slow down the symptoms.
Nathan, that's correct. There is a treatment that's FDA approved for a different disease, but it's shown to help the progression of CLN3 Batten disease. And tonight is such an amazing opportunity for the community to rally around this young boy and his family and show they aren't alone in this fight. Unfortunately, since it isn't FDA approved for Grayson's illness specifically, insurance may not cover it. That makes the drug extremely expensive. Grayson's mom, Emily, shared it could cost up to $18,000, but she and her family will do whatever it takes for him.
He's our sweet 7-year-old that you can never envision losing, and losing in this way. We're supposed to see him go to prom and see him graduate high school and have kids and grow up with his brother, and to think that maybe that won't happen is just heartbreaking.
They were able to get Grayson an appointment with some of the best doctors in the country, making today's fundraiser so important. On your screen now, you can see the fundraiser is from 4 to 9 p.m. If you visit Viva La Fiesta restaurant in Troy and show the flyer, you'll get 20% of your meal costs donated to Grayson's medical fund. Coming up in a bit, I will share some ways you can donate to the family if you can't make it to the fundraiser this evening.
We will give you a live look at the Great Miami River this morning. A warning at this hour. Crews recovering a teen's body from a lake in Trotwood. Dayton 24/7's Abby Forbes explains why Trotwood Fire is now asking you to stay out of the water.
The body of the 17-year-old who went swimming at Madison Lakes was found at 10 a.m. Monday morning, according to Trotwood Fire and Rescue. The body of the 17-year-old who went swimming at Madison Lakes was found at 10 a.m. Monday morning, according to Trotwood Fire and Rescue. Involved in this recovery was a Region 3 team, cadaver dogs, and submersible drones. Pickwood dive team recovered the body. Now officials are providing an important message to anyone considering swimming in the area.
I just want to stress that the lake, there's no swimming there, and every year someone either gets injured or something tragic like this happens, and I can't stress enough the importance that everyone understands that lake is not safe to swim in, so stop swimming there.
Despite this no swimming rule, Trotwood Fire and Rescue said there was a large group of 16 to 20-year-olds there Sunday night. They're stressing the importance of not swimming in designated no swimming areas to avoid incidents like this. I spoke with a local YMCA to find out ways that you can stay safe this summer when going around water. To find out more about these stories, go to Dayton247now.com.
We're learning new details this morning about a shooting last night in Dayton. Now, police responded to a fight between 20 to 25 people on North Monmouth Street and East 3rd Street. Montgomery County Regional Dispatch confirms 15 shots were fired. There's no word on injuries at this time.
A man is now dead and 4 others are recovering at the hospital after shooting on Superior Avenue Sunday night. Gwyneth Falloon brings us the latest.
Dayton police say they responded to calls of shouting and gunshots around 6 Sunday night. Police say about 5 people showed up to this apartment on Superior Avenue in a white SUV and went inside an apartment. DPD says 4 people are still in the hospital but stable, and one man, 36-year-old Kevin Jones, was killed. Police tell me he was the driver of that white SUV. At this time, there is no public threat, but police say they are still looking for suspects. Now, some neighbors tell me they are shocked, saying this is a family area, but one woman says this is unfortunately something she lives with.
Since I've been in Dayton for almost 30 years, I'm used to hearing guns go off at night all the time, all around me, north, south, east, and west. So it's no surprise.
Now, if you would like to read the full story, you can find it on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Dayton, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Prosecutors now charging a man police say charged at them with a sword while naked. Now, 34-year-old David Showalter is charged with felonious assault, obstructing official business, and more. The Dayton police chief says officers followed department policy when they shot at him. Showalter is expected in court later this month.
You're looking live at the White House right now. Former Vice President Mike Pence looking to get back there. He's joining the 2024 presidential race. The Federal Election Commission says he filed paperwork yesterday to run for the Republican nomination. Now, he plans to announce the campaign tomorrow ahead of a CNN presidential town hall. This sets up a head-to-head with former President Trump. The two had a falling out when Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election results.
The U.S. working to fix dangerous intersections between trains and cars. Now, the Transportation Department is spending $570 million to replace, improve, and study grade crossings. Each year, there are over 2,000 crashes between cars and trains, killing about 200 people. Federal officials say these improvements could reduce deaths and help the flow of traffic.
The University of Dayton is getting more than $702,000 to improve the way pre-K students learn. Senator Sherrod Brown announced the new grant from the National Science Foundation. The money is going towards research methods to improve math education for preschool kids. Senator Brown says it'll make sure the next generation is prepared to lead industries of the future.
We're approaching 4 years since the Oregon District mass shooting. Now the city of Dayton wants your input on a memorial designed to honor the 9 people shot and killed that night. The memorial will be here on East 5th Street next to the trolley stop. The 8-4 Memorial Committee selected 5 semi-finalist designs to honor the victims and help the community heal. Now you can give your feedback and help pick a winning design on Dayton.com. The final design will be selected August 4th.
Firefighters in Moraine recently discovered a hidden time capsule at their station. It's from all the way back in 1905. Inside of it held old newspapers, a contract to build their fire station, and a roster of city officials. The firefighters found it inside the building's cornerstone. They were trying to preserve it ahead of the building's demolition. Now the time capsule and all its items will be kept at the Marion County Historical Society until the new station is built.
Our time right now is 5:09. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
The push for a shorter work week. Hear from U.S. business leaders about why they implemented the change and whether experts believe this could be the norm across industries.
You're watching Your Day.
The push for a shorter work week, the plan is taking shape around the world. But whether there's promise it could become the standard in the U.S. is another story.
Dee Gatton joins us now with answers. Dee.
Some business leaders have already started implementing the 4-day work week and tell me it's increased productivity. But as states push for changes, experts point out the challenges to making this the norm.
There's really been no downside for us with not working on Fridays.
Trials for a shorter week are taking place around the world. An experiment in the UK from June to December 2022 found 92% of companies say they're continuing with the 4-day week. The report cited benefits to employees' well-being and improved productivity in organizations undertaking the change, something in line with what some U.S. companies are seeing.
I would say most of the full-time employees on the team that are doing the 4-day work week are still working roughly the same amount of hours, but it's just Monday through Thursday. It actually ends up being more productive. It's really just about the output, and I'm not as concerned about micromanaging every hour that people work.
Experts say the pandemic inspired many to rethink their workplace structure, but add this is not for every industry.
But we do have a manufacturer right now that's trying to go 3 12-hour shifts, 2 days off, 3 12-hour shifts, 2 days off, in the same vein of trying to give a better work-life balance. But depending on the industry you're in, a doctor's office per se, when you can see your clients and when you can get things done, it would be hard to just mandate it across the board.
According to a CBS News review, at least half a dozen states are on some level looking at legislation to make the 4-day work week more common. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Dee Gatton.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at so far. Haze in the sky, and this is something I think we're going to have to contend with the next at least 24 hours, if not the next 36. We'll have to see how the whole atmosphere shapes up as we get into Wednesday, Thursday. But the general theme is for the next day or two to be a little bit more problematic when it not only comes to haze, but of course the air quality as well. As for the radar, relatively quiet. Satellite continues to show more clouds, and yes, more of that smoke from the forest fires moving into the area. As we get into later on today, I do think it's not just going to be, let's say, a little bit of clouds that we may see, but actually could be maybe just a couple of showers. I mean, this is not going to be a deluge of wet weather for the entire area. South and west of Dayton would have better chances, but at least it offers hope from what has been a really, really dry last 2 weeks. And by now, we are abnormally dry, and we'll have to see. We may see a couple parts of the area tick into a low-end drought conditions. Now, that being said, Wednesday into Thursday, we are back to the dry weather. In fact, temperatures will actually be a little bit cooler as well. So not only is it going to be drier, but it's also going to be cooler. The next chance of any wet weather moves in on Sunday. Before that, we should warm up from the 70s into the 80s. So it should be a little bit warmer as we get into the weekend. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, you know, things are shaping up at this point to be pretty quiet. We haven't seen any tie-ups or issues on the major interstates. The only thing of note, we do have that exit ramp closed at 35 West at Ohio 835. We do have the Taylorsville Road, Rip Rap Road, an accident there, as well as North Kilmer Street, Lakeview, a tree down.
Well, it's that time of year we celebrate Dad, and you could win extra spending money every day from now until June 15th. Grab your phone to scan this QR code for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Play our Father's Day Pop Quiz Trivia Contest. Get the question right and you could win the daily prize of a $100 Visa gift card. You don't even need to be a dad. Again, scan the QR code to get the Father's Day Pop Quiz Trivia question of the day. Good luck.
5:17 is our time right now. A peach problem in Georgia. Just ahead, why the crop is in trouble and the impact it has across the country.
You're watching Your Day.
Time for Pet of the Day here on your day, where we celebrate your pets. And today's pet of honor is Nala. Nala here enjoying a beachside. Ashley sent in Nala. You know, it's been a really good couple of days to get out, whether it's the beach, whether it's maybe your dog likes to jump in the water, or mine likes to jump in her little pool and relax, cool off. Today, probably similar to yesterday in terms of feel. The difference is, of course, A, we're seeing the smoke early on. B, we'll actually see more cloud cover. And thus, I think that maybe the atmosphere, if you look at it from top to bottom, could be a few degrees warmer. But with the clouds holding up the sunlight, effectively today only maybe a couple degrees warmer than yesterday. So not a big difference, but either way, still back in the 80s, around average, give or take a few degrees. It is going to be a decent day to get outside with the dog, but if you are more sensitive to some pollutants, you may want to limit your time outside. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, things are fairly quiet thus far. Haven't seen any type of tie-ups or concerns, and we're moving smoothly on the interstates as of right now.
In a recent Allianz poll, 61% of Americans said they were more afraid of running out of money than they were of death itself. 59% said they had no idea how they were going to pay for health care in retirement. Well, a study finds a pill can cut the risk of death by lung cancer in half. This drug was developed by AstraZeneca. It's taken daily after surgery. It targets a particular type of lung cancer in patients that are suffering from so-called non-small cell cancer, the most common type, and showing a particular type of mutation. Lung cancer is a form of the disease that causes the most deaths, with about 1.8 million fatalities every year worldwide. Well, more than 2/3 of Americans believe snacks can make or break a road trip. Conducted by one poll on behalf of Haichu, the results show that 7 in 10 agree that road trips give them a hall pass to eat as many snacks as they'd like, and 61% of respondents admit they wouldn't go on a road trip with someone who doesn't allow snacking. From the NASDAQ, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Peach problems coming out of the peach state. If you're a fan of fresh Georgia peaches, you may be out of luck this season. Georgia's lost over 90% of this year's crop. Wow. And normally produce over 130 million pounds of peaches each year. In 2021, the crop was valued at nearly $85 million. Crops like peaches require a certain number of chill hours, ranging between 32 degrees and 45 degrees. This year, the state did not have enough cold hours. A second issue occurred in March during a freeze, which damaged and destroyed a number of the early flowers. And I was just reading this morning that actually the strawberry crop isn't as abundant this year because it's been so dry.
Yeah, you talk about climate change, and don't forget, it's the cold nights. Wine itself, when you do grapes, it needs the split between the warm days and the cold nights to really get the grapes right. I was reading about it that there are some parts of France now that are actually having to change out the grapes because the old grapes just can't do it anymore in the climate. So, you know, it's not just peaches, it's grapes, it's strawberries, so all your favorite fruit due to climate change.
Yeah, the fact that they lost 90% of this year's crops is
I know, I
tough.
love peaches.
That's tough.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Our time right now is 5:24, still to come.
It's time to rally behind a local boy battling a big disease. What you can do is next.
The Abby Michaels trial underway. In minutes, Adam Clemens takes you in the courtroom and looks back at day one.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's big reveal. The tech giant has unveiled the new Vision Pro AR/VR headset. The device uses dozens of cameras and sensors to blend virtual reality with the real world around you. It's set to be released next year at a starting price tag of $3,500. Other announcements at Monday's annual product reveal include the first Mac Pro with Apple's M2 processor. It's the first major update to the device in 4 years. There's also a new 15-inch MacBook Air. Both items will reach consumers later this year. And FaceTime is coming to your Apple TV. The device's operating system has a new FaceTime app that takes advantage of the newly released continuity camera feature, allowing your iPhone or iPad camera to bring video calls to your big screen TV. But a warning, if you use this to illegally stream a show to your friend, you might be the one to FaceTime. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Claire stayed in this amazing hotel and paid this much for her room. Jess stayed in the same hotel and paid a lot less. How? Let's go back. While Claire found her hotel on her usual booking site, Jess found her deal on Trivago. Have a look-see, Claire. Trivago compares hotel offers from major booking sites so you can find the best deal for you. Hotel Trivago.
Ugh-stipated. Feeling weighed down by a backed-up gut. Miralax is different. It works naturally with the water in your body to unblock your gut. Free your gut and your mood will follow.
It's not subtle. Now you can give them what they've always wanted. Real food for dogs. Caesar Wholesome Bowls and Simply Crafted.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Today marks 79 years since the D-Day invasions. On June 6, 1944, Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, beginning the liberation of France and eventually the end of World War II.
That's why they call them the greatest generation.
Ooh, 79 years ago, wow.
Brave men. And Prince Harry will become the first royal since the 19th century to face questioning in court. He's back in the UK to testify against a publisher he accuses of phone hacking. Harry defied a judge's order to be in the court for the first day of the trial yesterday. Is he just wearing like a tinfoil hat now? Is that? I don't know. I'm over Harry and the whole royal family. Just throwing it out there.
PETA's president is updating her will, donating body parts to politicians and celebrities. This is insane. The King of Spain is getting an ear, while her heart is going to Elon Musk.
Wow, that sounds like a mentally unwell person. I'm not going to lie.
For what reason?
I don't know.
Donate it to people who need it.
I don't. Too much for me.
You're looking live over Dayton here behind us, where the trial of Abby Michaels continues today.
Now, yesterday, both sides gave opening statements in the state's case and testimony. We'll pick up again this morning. Adam Clements takes you inside the courtroom.
Good morning. We are waking up to right now a day where we're going to have some issues with air quality. Now, the air quality goes on a scale from good, which is where, typically it is, to moderate, unhealthy for sensitive, and then unhealthy. We are there. And what that means is it's a little bit worse than it was a couple days ago, where we did just barely get above, I think it was Saturday itself, where it was unhealthy for sensitive. So we're ticking up. And the reason for that is the smoke continues to drop down to the surface, and there's still plenty of smoke in and around the atmosphere. So through midnight, we do have this air quality alert, which means, let's say you're going to trivia at the Square Square or trying to eat outside. If you're more sensitive, this is going to be more of a problem, and especially those that are more sensitive, you'll want to limit your time outside. Just a reminder, we are also on social media. We'll have your latest weather forecast posted up there, as well as fun moments from today's show, previous shows, as well as the Your Day Extra podcast too. I'll be special guesting on Friday, which I personally cannot wait for, and I'm sure Nathan's regretting it already, inviting me. As for today, we are looking at a morning commute where things have been mostly quiet thus far. We do have a couple of incidents, Taylorsville Road, Rip Rap Road, as well as North Kilmer Street at Lakeview Avenue.
Need your help finding this missing man. They issued an endangered missing alert for 82-year-old Billy Calhoun. He has dementia. Now, Calhoun was last seen in his car parking at the Goodwill store on Miller Lane. His wife was shopping inside. He drives a black 2005 Chevrolet Malibu with Ohio plates. The plate number here behind me, that's going to be JXE2449. And here's another look at Billy. He's 5'9", about 150 pounds, and has white hair and blue eyes. He also has a short beard and a mustache. Calhoun was last seen wearing a dark gray long sleeve t-shirt, dark gray jogging pants, and black tennis shoes. If you have any information, please call Butler Township Police or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers. Those numbers are on your screen now. You can also contact police online at MiamiValleyCrimeStoppers.com.
Butler Township Police right now investigating a three-car crash at Miller Lane and Benchwood Road. Now, it happened Monday afternoon. Police say a white car hit a minivan, causing the van to flip over and hit a third car. Thankfully, no one's hurt. Police are figuring out what caused the crash.
The countdown to Hamvention 2024 already underway on their website. The largest amateur radio convention saw a record number of attendees. It broke pre-pandemic records with 33,000 people visiting this year. You can find out more about New Year's event here at hamvention.org.
The GM of Central State University's radio station now honored for advancing black media in Ohio. Charles Fox was recognized by the Ohio Collective yesterday with the Legacy Builder Pillar Award. Fox co-founded the Ohio Black News Service. That's a professional development resource for black mass communications and journalism students.
A local family is having a fundraiser this evening to raise money for their son's treatment. 7-year-old Grayson Knapp is battling a rare genetic disorder known as CLN3 Batten disease.
It affects the nervous system, but there is hope for this young boy. Melena Brown joins us in studio this morning. Melena, tell us about the fundraiser tonight.
Nathan, tonight is such an amazing opportunity for the community to rally around this young boy and his family to show they aren't alone in this fight. The fundraiser is from 4 to 9 p.m. If you visit Viva La Fiesta restaurant and show a flyer, the restaurant will give you 20% off the cost of your meal to the medical fund. There's also a treatment that's FDA approved for a different disease, but it has been shown to help slow the progression of CLN3 Batten disease. Unfortunately, since it isn't FDA approved for Grayson's illness specifically, insurance may not cover it. That makes the drug extremely expensive. Grayson's mom, Emily, shared that it could cost up to $18,000, but she and her family will do whatever it takes for him.
This is our sweet 7-year-old that you can never envision losing, and losing in this way. We're supposed to see him go to prom and see him graduate high school and have kids and grow up with his brother, and to think that maybe that won't happen is just heartbreaking.
They were able to get Grayson an appointment with some of the best doctors in the country, making donating really helpful for the family. On your screen now you can see Grayson's website that lists different events and fundraisers coming up in support of him. You can also print out the flyer for tonight's event. The URL is on the bottom of your screen. Right now it's guidinggrayson.com. They are also selling these $5 bracelets. All proceeds will go to getting Grayson the best treatment possible.
We're all praying for Grayson. Thanks, Melena, for that story.
Absolutely. 5:35 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
School's out for summer in minutes and stretching your dollar. Lise Coulter looks at ways you can save with some summer deals.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, everybody. Behind the scenes here is always a good laugh when we go to commercial break. Here's the live look outside as you'll look out over the river, which looking pretty beautiful, lit up this morning. Let's be honest here. I haven't seen much in the way of rain, and I know a couple of the golf courses around town were chatting with me and saying, you know, our reservoirs of water were going down just a little bit, so we could use just a little bit more rain, not just to freshen up the golf course, but to tap up those reservoirs. Meanwhile, if you're heading to Riverscape Metro, of course, think about Tai Chi tonight. Now, I have never practiced Tai Chi, but every time I do see it, it looks rather relaxing. Maybe you're more of a baseball fan. Well, of course, the Dragons in town. They're playing Cedar Rapids tonight. First pitch somewhere around 80 degrees, give or take a degree or two, depending on when exactly they throw the first pitch, and maybe also some of the stadium effects as well, because sometimes you can get a little bit of a heat island effect at the games themselves. Temperatures should be in the mid-70s by the time that you get to the latter stages of the game. So all in all, it's going to be a pretty mild afternoon and evening for anything outside. You just want to make sure that if you're more sensitive, that you do limit your time out there.
Summer's here and it's time to hit the theme parks.
Elise Coulter breaks down some of the best deals without breaking the bank.
School's out for summer, and that means it's time for some summer fun, of course. And the best part, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg to do it. Here's some of the best deals happening around the Miami Valley. Kings Island offering an early days deal right now. If you buy online right now until June 29th, you'll pay $45 a person. That includes a pass to Soak City as well. You're going to save up to $40 off at the gate price by taking advantage of that deal. Or you could do a fun day bundle. That includes park admission, free parking, and all-day dining. You can enjoy a free meal every 90 minutes. If you're looking for something a little closer and perhaps maybe a little cheaper, you could find a coupon on Groupon. I did not mean to rhyme, but that does. For $11.99 for a fun-filled day at Land of Illusion. That's the child's price. Now for an adult, you'll pay $15.99. Those offers are good all summer long until September 4th. And the Columbus Zoo offering free tickets starting July 1st through July 4th for military members and their families. This includes past and present military members. It's a limited number of tickets and they are provided on a first come first served basis. The Cincinnati Zoo offers discounted ticket prices for military members and first responders. Tickets start at just $10 for adults. And then finally, Newport Aquarium offers discounts on tickets when you buy them at Kroger. You can save up to $3 per ticket. They offer military, AAA, and AARP discount ticket prices as well. So the next time you're looking for something for the whole family so they can enjoy it, well, make sure you shop around and see who's offering the best deal. Guys, back to you.
We want to know how you're stretching your dollar. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
Chime in a picture or video and share your money-saving tips. You may see them featured right here on your day.
5:41 is our time right now. A dynamite debut. The Reds bringing up their top pitching prospect. In minutes, how the rookie made history.
You're watching Your Day. Behind me, the Reds' Twitter page, it reads, making history, day one on the job. Cincinnati bringing up their top pitching prospect on Monday, and Andrew Abbott did not disappoint. The lefty became the only southpaw in modern era to throw 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts and no more than 1 hit in his major league debut. Abbott kept the Milwaukee Brewers guessing all night, and after losing 3 straight to the Brew Crew, the Reds need a win to avoid the sweep. Since he got on the board in the third with Stuart Fairchild's solo shot, and the Reds shut out the Brewers 2-0. They now become the best team in the West with a 3-game series that starts tonight against the LA Dodgers.
The road to the U.S. Open is long, and one of the stops is right here in the Miami Valley. Multiple golfers turning out with hopes of qualifying at Springfield Country Club. Matt Digby was there for Marathon Monday.
It's often referred to as the longest day in golf, and it was certainly an eventful day Monday at Springfield Country Club. 36 holes of qualifying for the U.S. Open next week, and more than 70 golfers competing for one of 5 berths from Springfield Country Club. 3 of those berths were claimed in the 36 holes, but the remaining 2 spots, it had to go to a 3-way playoff. Dylan Wu did birdie the first playoff hole to clinch a berth of his own, but then the remaining 2 golfers, Alex Shockey and Maxwell Moldovan, going to 8 playoff holes before Shockey birdies the 17th par 5 to clinch a berth in the field at next week's U.S. Open.
They call this the longest day in golf, and it got even longer. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that played more holes than Maxwell and I did today, so it was so much fun. I'm exhausted. A lot of emotions right now. Man, it's pretty cool. My brother played in the U.S. Open 2 years ago, and I got to caddy for him, so this experience is going to be awesome for me. There's a new job that I have to do, to go to the U.S. Open, compete with those guys, prove to myself that I can. And this was a stepping stone for me because a lot of those PGA Tour pros were out here today and hung right there with them. So it was a great day.
Again, Sam Stevens, Taylor Pendrith, Nick Hardy, Dylan Wu, and Alex Shockey. Those are the 5 automatically qualifying from Springfield to next week's U.S. Open at Los Angeles Country Club. Round 1 begins on Thursday, June 15th. In Springfield, I'm Matt Digby.
Right for now, it is a little bit hazy as you look over the greater Beaver Creek area. You could actually pick up that little bit of a haze. And I believe Nathan's first words to me besides hello this morning were, what's that, kind of a eerie look to it? And I said, well, that's part of what we saw yesterday was the haze from the forest fires. And again, today, not a great air quality day across portions of the Miami Valley due to the fact that we are still going to contend with that smoke. So what ends up happening is the jet stream brings it over the top of the area. We have this sinking air mass as well, and thus we deal with some smoke haze, not just aloft where you get the milky white skies, but all the way down to the surface. Meanwhile, across portions of the West Coast do have another low out there. Actually, California could see rain. It may actually rain in Los Angeles. Gasp, the horror. Of course, they are dealing with still that long-term drought, so any type of rain does help, but it is worth pointing out that, yes, even Los Angeles during the dry season can pick up some rain. Meanwhile, for us, it's been pretty dry as of late. Don't really expect that to change with the exception of maybe a couple of showers overnight tonight. So, yes, there could be 1 or 2 in the area, but I wouldn't bank on seeing any type of widespread rain or heavy rain for that matter. It may end up being more sprinkles or just enough to moisten the grass. That may be it up until we get into the weekends, because tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, temperatures somewhere in the 70s, overnight lows in the 50s. Saturday and Sunday will be warmer, but then again, Sunday we are looking at the best chance of rain overall, and that may be the first real widespread system as opposed to just an unorganized rain event. As for roads this morning, it is fairly quiet all across the board. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns, and all the other incidents have been cleaned up. The only one of note as of right now, US 35 West at Woodman Drive, That one is closed, the exit ramp, due to ongoing construction.
Our time right now is 5:49. Real world meets the digital world just ahead. The new product from Apple and when it hits store shelves.
You're watching Your Day.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive, Robin Roberts one-on-one with Apple CEO Tim Cook about his company's buzzy new product.
Vision Pro, which you are really excited about. Just explain to folks what that is.
It is the first platform that is about spatial computing. And so what does that mean? It means that you can see, hear, and interact with digital content right in your physical space. And this is a huge idea. You can immerse yourself in movies, TV shows, sports, and feel like you're right there. You can obviously collaborate and connect with people. This product is about connection.
And coming up at 7 a.m., Robin will have much more of her interview. Plus, she'll be one of the first people to try out the new Apple Vision Pro. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift.
Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults, report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
All right, we'll get it back out to Nick in a little bit. Some technical errors there. Scrambled, sunny side up over easy. There are lots of ways to enjoy them, but we can all agree the best eggs are for sale. Now, for the first time in months, you may see the price drop on your next trip to the grocery store. About time. Supermarket executives say retail egg prices are on track to return to historic averages in the coming months. Now, the price of a dozen eggs surpassed $4 in January, but farmers say the deadliest avian flu outbreak in U.S. history has slowed and flocks of laying hens have been rebuilt. Last week, wholesale prices of Midwest large eggs were $1.28 a dozen. That's according to research firm Erner Berry.
You're looking at Apple.com and the Vision Pro on Monday. The tech giant unveiled the mixed reality headset, with some calling it the biggest new product launch in years. CEO Tim Cook said it's the first device you look through, not at. Apple says it combines the real world with the digital world. In a promotional video, a person puts on the headset and sees app icons appear in his field of vision. The user controls Vision Pro with their eyes, hands, and voice. Apple says you can also flick your fingers to scroll. The Apple Vision Pro will start at $3,500 and will be available in the U.S. next year.
Okay, so I don't really
It's too far.
get it. It's not really my cup of tea, I guess. Maybe I'm old.
This is some Black Mirror
But
stuff.
here's the thing is, like, eventually, I think what's going to result of this is they're going to take that technology where you could see through the screen and apply it to phones eventually, where you could just see right through it, but you see the, you know,
The apps and stuff, yeah.
I think that's eventually going to happen.
I wonder if this is more going to be used for, you know, when you paint a room, or you wonder if how a couch would look somewhere. If, you know, you think about that kind of
$3,500.
Look, man, all I'm going to say is think about it. Well, think about if you're a home interior designer. Hey, imagine this couch here. Let me put up this. Here's what your colors look like. You know, that may be useful for a client, but in terms of me, no. I'm going to stick to my. I don't know how much an iPhone costs anymore, and I don't want to know.
Because I just got my pager right here. It beeps every now and then. I know I need to call my mom
man,
back.
I am not. Look. I do not have a belt buckle. Okay, I am not that old. Because whenever you see someone pull up that belt, you're like, oh, yep, I see that. Yep, yeah. Oh.
It just seems unnecessary. It's just another reason why people are going to be just dive into technology and being less social.
Exactly.
Having interaction person to
just
person.
talk to people. And by the way, I'm just not convinced you don't have a belt clip for your phone. Okay, just throwing that out there.
Look, man, you want to check here? Like,
No, you're not wearing it on air, but
now.
I'm saying you probably do. Just throwing it out there. Some real stepdad energy. Our time right now is 5:56. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
It's time to rally behind a local young boy battling a big disease. What you can do to help is next.
Trying to keep tennis in Southwest Ohio at 6, Cassie Arsenal looks at the offer from the city of Mason and hopes they can hold on to the Western and Southern Open.
And now we're going to give you a live look from downtown Dayton and the Great Miami River. At 6, Abby Forbes talks with first responders about water safety.
And we are looking at another day of temperatures in the 80s. It'll become cloudy during the afternoon and evening. Could catch 1 or 2 showers overnight, but wouldn't expect to see a lot of rain. Tomorrow, mid-70s. We'll be back into the 80s by the weekend, with chances of rain increasing on Sunday. That's probably your best chance of rain overall. And I still do not own a belt clip.
Don't lie. You're watching your day. I'm not convinced, Nick. Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 quick stories to get your day started. Mason is fighting to keep the Western and Southern Tennis Tournament in the Tri-State. There are talks of the tournament moving to North Carolina. Mason city officials just proposed a $15 million incentive to fund an expansion.
Oh, see, Carolina's trying to steal something else from Ohio. First they say they're the first in flight. They like to steal that from us, and now they're trying to steal this? No.
I feel like
thank
it's
you.
going to stay.
It should stay. Man is now open for lunch. Previously, the Centerville restaurant only had dinner hours, but now you get lunch reservations starting at 11 a.m. Now, this is started by the folks that own Solar downtown. Looks like a great little spot, so go check it out.
Well, maybe we need to go after work one day.
Oh, brunch?
Little brunch action on a Wednesday.
Sign me up.
And what's all the buzz about Graders? They just unveiled their new bonus flavor, Hot Honey Crunch. It's got pieces of honeycomb, sweet icing, and a little heat for that extra kick. This sounds amazing.
I don't want my ice cream spicy.
It's going to be a good mixture of sweet and
Does
spicy.
it like automatically cool you down? Because no.
Maybe.
I'm good. You can have all of it, Alex.
Okay, sounds good.
Right now, crews in Canada continuing to fight wildfires in Nova Scotia. So far, 8 million acres have burned, with giant plumes of smoke towering over the region.
Now those wildfires are causing problems for us here in the Miami Valley, so we're going to send things over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak with a look at conditions as you head out the door this morning.
We've actually upticked one level to unhealthy. Now, there's unhealthy for sensitive, and then there's unhealthy. So now we're starting to get to the point where it's getting to the point where more and more people are getting affected by this air quality. It's not quite at the top, which is hazardous. That means that you step outside and it's dangerous to be outside. Very unhealthy would be that next lower where you really don't want to be outside. And again, we are at that third level. Meanwhile, air quality alert issued for the center of the Miami Valley. If you are going to be outside, whether it's the squares where and you're more sensitive, you may want to limit your time. But otherwise, we should be okay for today, at least weather-wise. Meanwhile, if you are planning out your day, want to check something out, go ahead and go to Your Day Dayton, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, or the Facebook. And there you can catch the latest news. We'll also post your weather forecast here over the next half hour. And, of course, you can catch the Your Day Extra podcast, which I get to be a part of on Friday. Yay! I got my permission slip from my mom and everything. As for this morning's commute, things are looking quiet all across the interstates and state roads. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns thus far.
A local family is having a fundraiser this evening to raise money for their son's treatment. 7-year-old Grayson Naff is battling a rare genetic disorder. It's known as CLN3 Batten disease.
Now, it affects the nervous system, but there is hope for this young boy. Melina Brown joins us now in studio. Melina, Grayson's mom says treatment may help slow down the symptoms.
That is correct, Nathan. There is a treatment that's FDA approved for a different disease, but it is shown to help slow the progression of the CLN3 Batten disease. Tonight is such an amazing opportunity for the community to rally around this young boy and his family and show they aren't alone in this fight. Unfortunately, since it isn't FDA approved for Grayson's illness specifically, insurance may not cover it. That makes the drug extremely expensive. Grayson's mom, Emily, shared that it could cost up to $18,000, but she and her family will do whatever it takes for him.
This is our sweet 7-year-old that you can never envision losing in this way. We're supposed to see him go to prom and see him graduate high school and have kids and grow up with his brother, and to think that maybe that won't happen is just heartbreaking.
We're able to get Grayson an appointment with some of the best doctors in the country, making today's fundraiser so important. On your screen now, you can see the fundraiser is from 4 to 9:30 p.m. If you visit Viva La Fiesta restaurant in Troy and show the flyer, you will get 20% of your meal costs will be donated to Grayson's medical fund. You can also print out the flyer on the family's website. The URL is on the bottom of your screen now. Coming up in a bit, I will also share some of the ways you can donate to the family if you can't make it out to the fundraiser this evening.
We now want to give you a live look at the Great Miami River. A warning this morning as crews recovered a teen's body from a lake in Trotwood. Dayton 24/7 Now's Abby Forbes explains why Trotwood Fire is now asking you to stay out of the water.
The body of the 17-year-old who went swimming at Madison Lakes was found at 10 a.m. Monday morning, according to Trotwood Fire and Rescue. Involved in this recovery was a Region 3 team, cadaver dogs, and submersible drones. The Pickwood Dive team recovered the body. Now officials are providing an important message to anyone considering swimming in the area.
I just want to stress that the lake, there's no swimming there, and every year someone either gets injured or something tragic like this happens, and I can't stress enough the importance that everyone understands that lake is not safe to swim in, so stop swimming there.
Despite this no swimming rule, Trotwood Fire and Rescue said there was a large group of 16 to 20-year-olds there Sunday night. They're stressing the importance of not swimming in designated no swimming areas to avoid incidents like this. I spoke with a local YMCA to find out ways that you can stay safe this summer when going around water. To find out more about these stories, go to Dayton247now.com.
We're learning new details this morning about a shooting last night in Dayton. Police responded to a fight between 20 to 25 people on North Monmouth Street and East 3rd Street. Montgomery County Regional Dispatch confirms 15 shots were fired. There's no word on any injuries at this time.
A man is now dead and 4 others are recovering in the hospital after a shooting on Superior Avenue Sunday night. Gwyneth Falloon brings us the latest.
Dayton police say they responded to calls of shouting and gunshots around 6 Sunday night. Police say about 5 people showed up to this apartment on Superior Avenue in a white SUV and went inside an apartment. DPD says 4 people are still in the hospital but stable, and one man, 36-year-old Kevin Jones, was killed. Police tell me he was the driver of that white SUV. At this time, there is no public threat, but police say they are still looking for suspects. Now, some neighbors tell me they are shocked, saying this is a family area, but one woman says this is unfortunately something she lives with.
Since I've been in Dayton for almost 30 years, I'm used to hearing guns go off at night all the time, all around me, north, south, east, and west. So it's no surprise.
Now, if you would like to read the full story, you can find it on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Dayton, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Prosecutors now charging this man. Police say charged them with a sword while naked. 34-year-old David Showalter is charged with felonious assault, obstructing official business, and more. The Dayton police chief says officers followed department policy when they shot at him. Showalter is expected in court later this month.
The University of Dayton is getting more than $702,000 to improve the way pre-K students learn. Senator Sherrod Brown announced the new grant from the National Science Foundation. The money is going towards research methods to improve math education for preschool kids. Senator Brown says it'll make sure the next generation is prepared to lead industries of the future.
We're approaching 4 years since the Oregon District mass shooting. Now, the city of Dayton wants your input on a memorial design to honor the 9 people shot and killed that night. The memorial will be here on East 5th Street next to Trolley Stop. The 8-4 Memorial Committee selected 5 semifinalist designs to honor the victims and help the community heal. You can give your feedback and help pick a winning design on Dayton.com. The final design will be selected August 4th.
6:08 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Offering quality service and a second chance. In minutes, the area company that will be reopening this summer and their plans on giving back.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. We are waking up to temperatures in the 50s, generally speaking, although 48 in Middletown, in Xenia at 47, and Urbana at 48. So some of the typical cooler spots showing up this morning, but otherwise, generally speaking, somewhere mid-50s seems to be the most predominant. Really, there's actually a pretty good range if we're being fair. As for out the door today, temperatures should be able to get to around 80. Yet again, we're going to have to contend with that smoke haze outside. And because of that, it's likely to A, have problems with air quality, and B, you're going to deal with a little bit of that reduced visibility that we're currently seeing. Meanwhile, if you're going to the Dragons game tonight, it will be cloudy as those clouds increase this evening. Temperatures, as a result, should only top out somewhere in the low, maybe mid-80s at the warmest. As for today, it is going to be the last day of the 80s for maybe a couple of days, but we will see 80s return for the weekend. It's also where we'll have to deal with some chances of rain. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit, but first, let's take a look at traffic. This morning, things have moved steadily. You see that road construction, 35 and 835. So that is just one of the only problem spots that we have seen. Again, a little bit of that haze here or there.
Our time right now is 6:12. Still to come, trying to keep tennis in Southwest Ohio in minutes. Cassie Arsenal looks at the offer from the city of Mason and hopes they can hold on to the Western Southern Open.
You're watching Your Day. Leaders in Mason showing their commitment to keeping the Western and Southern Open there in the form of dollar signs. Leaders in Charlotte, North Carolina are working to fund a brand new tennis facility in hopes of becoming the tournament's new home.
Cassie Arsenal tells us more about the multi-million-dollar incentive Mason's now offering to keep the Western and Southern Open.
Mason's proposed $15 million incentive would help fund a $150 million expansion. which would also expand the tournament from 1 week to 2 weeks in 2025.
The current tournament at about $80 million, certainly the expanded tournament at upwards of $150 million projected economic impact.
And the state of Ohio sweetened the deal with an additional $22.5 million through a budget proposal pending in Columbus.
And it's amazing that I'm allowed to tell you because the Senate budget doesn't come out till tomorrow.
State Senator Steve Wilson announced a pot of $1 billion, which can be used for projects like this if there are other costs. BMOC Capital's Ford Perry attended the special meeting virtually. He outlined upgrades needed at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, topping out at $375 million. Those upgrades include adding more courts, more player facilities, and green space.
We are committed to be that full one-third partner as we identify what the potential of this opportunity could be for all of Ohio, all of the Midwest, really.
My allergies were kicking up a little bit this morning, and I thought, wow, have allergies here, but you know it's nothing like in Charlotte.
Will these incentives be enough? Right now, Charlotte City Council is expected to vote this month on a tax incentive worth up to $70 million. And county and state leaders there are also mulling investments in the project. But if Mason's pledge is any indication, Ohio isn't going down without a fight.
We want you here. We're going to keep you here.
And if you want to read more on Mason's new push or rewatch this story, head over to our website at Dayton247now.com. You can find the story under the local section.
Well, this morning it has been a fairly, I'm going to use the term hazy, foggy. You get the idea of what we're looking at this morning because we do have reduced visibility. It's not 10 miles of visibility. It's not 1 mile. It's somewhere in between. So again, it's this haze as compared to, let's say, a hardcore fog or a clear skies and smooth sailing. Do have clouds now approaching the area. This from the north. That's one of the reasons why the forest fires, which are up in the Quebec province, are dropping their way south. And so are some rain chances, although it's probably nothing more than maybe just a very light shower for some of us at the absolute most. Meanwhile, we're quiet all the way through at least Saturday. Notice the system building out to the west. This arrives probably somewhere around Sunday. Some of the models indicate that Monday, maybe even Tuesday, could be at risk of more showers. So an optimist to me says, okay, we're finally going to get some rain. The pessimist says, all right, one, it's during the weekend, and number two, there's definitely not a surefire thing that we absolutely will see rain. Over the near term, maybe just a couple showers overnight, otherwise hazy with temperatures low 80s. Tomorrow, 70s, mid 70s expected on Thursday as well. We're back to around 80 on Friday, and by Saturday and Sunday, we're in the 80s, but again, we do have that rain chance on your Sunday. As for roads this morning, no rain chances, thus traffic not really playing a huge role in our morning commute. Things have been looking pretty okay so far this morning.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal head times, a longtime Dayton area business that closed during the pandemic will reopen under new ownership this summer. Pit Stop Tire and Auto of Xenia served the region for nearly 40 years before closing in 2021. It'll reopen in July and offer clients state-certified training in auto mechanics. The owners co-founded an addiction recovery nonprofit and will offer people recovering from drug addiction a second chance to get an auto mechanic certification. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the News tab, and select Dayton Business Journal.
You're looking at Apple.com and the Vision Pro. On Monday, the tech giant unveiled the mixed reality headset, with some calling it the biggest new product launch in years. CEO Tim Cook said it's the first device you look through, not at. Apple says it combines the real world with the digital world. In a promotional video, a person puts on the headset and sees app icons appear in his field of vision. The user controls Vision Pro with their eyes, hands, and voice. Apple says you can also flick your fingers to scroll. The Apple Vision Pro will start at $3,500 and will be available in the U.S. next year.
Our time right now is 6:21. Excellent. Good news at the grocery store. Egg prices finally dropping. Just ahead, the reason for that change.
You're watching Your Day.
Time to do some pet of the day here on your day, where we celebrate your furry friends or your feathered friends, or, well, I don't know any other F words that describe animals. Anyway, the point of it is, this is Nala. Nala sent in by Ashley. Ashley taking Nala on a walk here. See the leash there, and Nala get to enjoy either the beach or the water, or a little bit of both. I know my dog personally loves to go right into the shallow edge of a water and just kind of lay in it and just relax a little bit. And, you know, maybe your dog does too, especially with temperatures in the 80s. If you have a husky, a Malamute, or some other animal has a longer fur, even an Aussie like my Valkyrie, they tend to get a little bit warmer this time of year. So it's always a good idea to just make sure they have some way of keeping them cool, whether it's water in the beach or whether it's, you know, backyard pool or just a good old-fashioned shady spot and the AC if you're staying inside. As for this morning's commute, you know, I haven't seen any type of major ordeals outside. Things are moving pretty smoothly across the board. So that does look like some good news here on it's a Tuesday morning. Tuesday.
Scrambled, sunny side up, over easy. There are lots of ways to enjoy them, but we can all agree the best eggs are for sale. Now, for the first time in months, you may see the price drop on your next trip to the grocery store. Supermarket executives say retail egg prices are on track to return to historic averages in the coming months. The price of a dozen eggs surpassed $4 in January, but farmers say the deadliest avian flu outbreak in U.S. history was slowed and flocks of laying hens have been rebuilt. Now, last week, wholesale prices of Midwest large eggs were $1.28 a dozen, according to a research firm, Erner Berry. All right, guys, how do you like your eggs?
Over easy.
Over easy.
That's the only way.
Thrown at my enemies.
Thrown at your enemies. Do you probably like just hard boiled or bust?
No, scrambled, poached, eggs Benedict.
I like poached.
Yeah, poached is like that weird one where it's tough to do at home, but man, you go to a restaurant and just, yeah. You paid $18 for a little egg, a little avocado, and hollandaise sauce.
Poach isn't too bad. I mean, you just got to put, a little vinegar in the water and...
I've never been able to get it right, to be honest with you. You know, that's why I just stick to sometimes scrambled or, you know, fried.
Yeah, we go scrambled because it's easy. Kids like it.
Cheesy scrambled? I
like cheap eggs, though. I am happy the price are going down. I'm one of those people who goes to the store and be like, that wasn't that way like 10 years ago.
You get the old man like stance like, in my day.
I can just see you standing in front of the eggs, just staring them down.
Like my wife will be like, why do you remember the prices of all of this stuff? I said, leave me alone.
Yeah. No, I've definitely done the same thing, but one thing I do like is farm fresh eggs. So if there are any farms around here that have eggs, I will stop in, grab a dozen or two. Those make so much big of a difference.
Yeah, go down to 2nd Street Market. A lot of places down there have them. So our time right now is 6:27, still to come.
It's time to rally behind a local young boy battling a big disease. What you can do to help is next.
The Abby Michaels trial underway in minutes. Adam Clements takes you in the courtroom and looks back at day one.
But first, here's Stacey Bell with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
When it's hot out and you're headed out to work and you're going to leave the car out all day in the hot sun, you want to keep it cool on the inside because you don't want to get in the car and you or your children or your pets burn themselves. We've got just the thing. It fits into the glove compartment. It's called the Brella Shade. So you open it up and you raise it and it's going to keep the sun out and keep your car cool all day. The inside of your car can get up to 43 degrees hotter than it is outside. Brella Shade cuts that by 35 degrees. And then you know how when your car has that new car smell, if it gets really hot, it's releasing those toxins in the air, and that's not good for you. And I'm a Southern girl, and it's like hot 10 months out of the year, and I hate sitting in the car, and I burn myself. This is super easy. It fits in your glove compartment. Some of the other ones, you have to figure out where you're going to store them. That's not an issue with the Brella Shade. You just pop it into your glove compartment. And it's going to save and preserve the life of your car, no cracking on your leather. It's just going to make your car cooler and more comfortable. We all want that after a long day or even a short day. Right now, we're offering a great deal. It's an awesome deal. It's 25% off. Head over to asadeals.com.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Today marks 79 years since the D-Day invasions. On June 6, 1944, Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, beginning the liberation of France and eventually the end of World War II.
A lot of great men stormed the beaches that day, and we lost many of them. We salute those who've served our country.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Prince Harry will become the first royal since the 19th century to face questioning in court. He's back in the UK to testify against a publisher he accuses of phone hacking. Harry defied a judge's order to be in court for the first day of the trial yesterday. Of course. I mean, the royals, they just are the gift that keeps on giving.
You
right?
love them.
No, I love to hate them.
You love them.
Okay.
PETA's president is updating her will, donating body parts to politicians and celebrities. The King of Spain is getting an ear, while her heart goes to Elon Musk.
Yeah, this is...
I wonder if there's a reasoning for these.
Well, it says that as a child, she saw many umbrella stands made out of elephant feet and tiger rugs, and so this is...
So she wants her body parts to be
I
made
guess
into
she's
rugs.
yeah, she said she wants it to be turned into household decoration. What a weirdo. All right.
You're looking live over Dayton here behind us, where the trial of Abby Michaels continues today.
Yesterday, both sides gave opening statements. The state's case and testimony will pick up again this morning. Adam Clements takes you inside the courtroom.
On March 17th, 2019, the family, the last name of Thompson, awoke alive and well, and by nightfall, that living family was no longer alive.
Prosecutors say Abby Michaels was driving the wrong way on I-75 on St. Patrick's Day 4 years ago when she crashed into another vehicle, killing Tommy and Karen Thompson of Mason, along with their 10-year-old daughter, Tessa.
Miss Michaels took knowing action to turn her vehicle into a deadly weapon. Miss Michaels knowingly drove her vehicle into oncoming traffic to cause serious physical harm. That deadly weapon and that serious physical harm caused the deaths of the Thompson family.
Prosecutors showed video evidence of Michaels at a Dayton area bar prior to the crash. A toxicology report showed her blood alcohol content was .099 immediately following the crash, well past the legal limit. However, on Friday, the judge dismissed 3 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide and 1 count of OVI. Michaels is still charged with 6 counts of murder and 3 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. The defense attempting to build its case around Abby Michaels' medical history.
She had had brain surgery for chorea malformation, correct?
Yes.
All right. You had been involved and knew of the care that had been provided to her for purposes of her seizures, correct?
Yes.
And as her husband and as someone who had been with her for an extended period of time, you were aware that those were things that she suffered from and suffered with, correct?
Yes.
Michael's husband, who had filed for divorce just 2 days before the crash, said he received calls from her 10 minutes before that crash, insisting they meet in person. He claims he told her no, and that's when he says she threatened to kill herself, which he said she had done in the past.
Good morning. We are going to see that haze. Look at this tower cam. If you look out to the city, you see that reduced visibility outside. It's not particularly that dense, so we're not talking about 10 miles of visibility, but at the same token, it's not a mile. It's, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is why, again, we are expecting it to be more of a haze than a true fog or anything similar. If you are stepping out and about today, just a reminder, we are under an air quality alert that includes the greater Preble County area, Greene County, Clark County, as well as Miami and Darke County. So the center section of the Miami Valley of that. So if you're going to be out and about today, you may want to just keep an eye on how you're breathing and maybe give yourself some extra time. Meanwhile, we have just posted your weather forecast to your Dayton on our Facebook. Of course, we're also on Instagram and the Twitter. We take Friday selfies. Let's see, we do have the Your Day Extra podcast on Friday, which I get to be a part of up until that I get the shepherd's hook and escorted from the building. As for this morning, things are looking pretty okay. Do have a fallen tree on Lindale Ave and Embury Park Road. If that's part of your morning commute, you may want to plan around that, but otherwise, things are moving smoothly thus far on the major interstates.
Police in Butler Township need your help finding this missing man. They issued an endangered missing alert for 82-year-old Billy Calhoun. He has dementia. Calhoun was last seen in his car parking at the Goodwill store on Miller Lane. His wife was shopping inside. He drives a black 2005 Chevrolet Malibu with Ohio plates. That plate number is right here behind me. It's JXE 2449. Here's another look at Billy. He's 5'9", about 150 pounds, and has white hair and blue eyes. He also has a short beard and a mustache. Calhoun was last seen wearing a dark gray long sleeve t-shirt, dark gray jogging pants, and black tennis shoes. If you have any information, please call Butler Township Police or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers. Those numbers are on your screen right now. You can also contact police online at MiamiValleyCrimeStoppers.com. A local family is having a fundraiser this evening to raise money for their son's treatment. 7-year-old Grayson Nafe is battling a rare genetic disorder. It's known as CLN3 Batten disease.
It affects the nervous system, but there is hope for this young boy. Melina Brown joins us now in studio. Melina, tell us about the fundraiser tonight.
Nathan, tonight is such an amazing opportunity for the community to rally around this young boy and his family and to show they aren't alone in this fight. The fundraiser is from 4 to 9:30 p.m. If you visit Viva La Fiesta restaurant in Troy and show this flyer, the restaurant will give 20% of your meal costs to Grayson's medical fund. There's a treatment that is FDA approved for a different disease, but it is shown to help slow the progression of CLN3 Batten disease. Unfortunately, since it isn't FDA approved for Grayson's illness specifically, insurance may not cover it. That makes the drug extremely expensive. Grayson's mom, Emily, shared it could cost up to $18,000, but she and her family will do whatever it takes for him.
This is our sweet 7-year-old that you can never envision losing. And losing in this way. We're supposed to see him go to prom and see him graduate high school and have kids and grow up with his brother, and to think that maybe that won't happen is just heartbreaking.
We're able to get Grayson an appointment with some of the best doctors in the country, making donating really helpful for the family. On your screen now, you can see Grayson's website that lists different events and fundraisers that are coming up in support of him. You can also print out the flyer for tonight's event. The URL is on the bottom of your screen right now. It's guidinggrayson.com. They also are selling these bracelets for $5, and all proceeds will go to getting Grayson the best treatment possible. Our Dayton 24/7 Now reporter, Clara Faith, will be at the fundraiser this evening, and we'll have more from the family.
Our time right now is 6:39. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
A live look this morning from downtown Dayton and the Great Miami River. And minutes Nick steps outside and takes a look at your forecast.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Here's a recent image of a landspout tornado near Aurora, Nebraska. While they have damage capability, they're weaker and the way they form is different from other tornadoes. Rotating thunderstorms can spawn supercell tornadoes, but landspouts form during a storm's developing stage. Spinning originates near the ground, and the updraft pulls air from the surface into the storm.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning we're talking about what has been a fairly quiet morning, at least when it comes to heavy-duty weather. Now, it is worth pointing out that we still have plenty of smoke from the forest fires. We really saw that build in throughout the day yesterday. And by the second half of the day, I'm talking about 5, 6 p.m., as I got home from whatever I was doing, I looked out and went, ooh, that's really, really hazy. And this is a case where I do expect it to continue at times today, especially early on. In addition to the haze, we're also seeing some clouds move in, but this is not going to be a heavy-duty weather day where we're going to see tons of rain or heavy winds or damaging wind gusts, things of that nature. We're just not talking about that. Instead, a couple of showers possible along a cold front. Winds will pick up tonight, and it'll get pretty warm, dare I say, during the daytime today with temperatures in the low to mid-80s. But right for now, there's a crispness to the air, but there is also, again, a haze, if not significant smoke in the upper atmosphere, blocking out a lot of the sun's rays as of right now here on the Watson's Weather Patio.
You about owed me a Coke. Anyway, so our time right now, 6:44, still to come.
A peach problem in Georgia just ahead, why the crop is in trouble and the impact it has across the country.
You're watching Your Day. Peach problems coming out of the Peach State. If you're a fan of fresh Georgia peaches, you may be out of luck this season. Georgia has lost over 90% of this year's crop. They normally produce over 130 million pounds of peaches each year. In 2021, the crop was valued at nearly $85 million. Crops like peaches require a certain number of chill hours, ranging between 32 degrees and 45 degrees. This year, the state did not have enough cold hours. The second issue occurred in March during a freeze, which damaged and destroyed a number of the early flowers.
Always interesting when you talk about agriculture and how weather affects it, because there are certain years where it really comes down to timing. I remember now, let's see, doing some quick math, 3 years ago in Fort Wayne, we had a hard freeze right at the end of May, and by then the apple trees had already bloomed. And they lost, I think it was around 3/4 of their crop that year, which of course was the year of COVID. So when it came to apple picking time, everybody wanted to get outside. They literally ran out of apples on the trees within the first few weeks. Now, we are talking about here temperatures in the 50s and 40s. Meanwhile, as you get down to the south, 60s and 70s. So already it has certainly turned summertime in the deep south, where, you know, it just never quite gets anything more than just a little bit muggy outside. We are going to be looking at no major pattern shifts in the sense of huge temperature swings. We're not getting 30, 40 degree temperature swings. If anything, we're just seeing this, I would say, a decent band, but it moves around a little bit. So today, low 80s. By the time we close out the 7 days, the coolest temperature actually be, let's say, around the mid 70s, and the overnight lows will go from anywhere from 50 to 65. So effectively, we're talking about, again, not necessarily a really narrow band, but a band nonetheless that is centered pretty much around average, maybe just slightly below. Today, 82 degrees, again, dealing with the haze and clouds increasing. Tomorrow, could still see a couple showers overnight, but tomorrow itself should be dry. Again, tomorrow night into Thursday could be a little bit on the cooler side. Thursday into Friday, also a touch cooler, but again, we're not going to see 90 degrees. We're not going to see upper 60s, at least not yet. This is going to be a fairly quiet weather pattern for us. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, traffic certainly picking up this morning all across the area, 35 and 75. You do have that traffic there, as well as down 75 and 3rd. So if you are getting out and about this morning, be prepared, and also be prepared. Again, you mentioned it, Nathan. One of the first things you said to me was, what's going on outside? Because there is that little bit of a haze, and on every one of those cameras, you could pick it up. It almost feels like a foggy morning, but it's all that smoke from Canada coming up over the top of the atmosphere and then settling down into our area.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I don't remember this much haze before with wildfire.
I didn't even notice it driving in, but then as we see the traffic cameras, I'm noticing it more and more.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those days where, especially if you're sensitive, limit your time outside. And even if you're very healthy, you may want to just maybe keep an eye on how you feel. And if you start feeling a little bit, go inside, relax, watch us on TV. That's always a good idea.
Great idea, Nick, and great advice. Our time right now is 6:52. A live look at the Troy traffic circle. In minutes, Melina Brown takes a look at a fundraiser for a local boy battling a big disease and what you can do to help.